So I'm going to show you the ultimate strategy on how I solve Wordles every day, first try, guaranteed. So most people, they're going to have you start with some kind of a starter word. So I'll start with my favorite starter word, spoil. And then you just proceed going through using the clues from the previous guesses, and people have these complex decision trees and dictionary lists and all that. My strategy is way simpler than any of that. I just want to make sure that as we're doing this, you guys understand my thinking and what it is that we're going to be doing today. And with that introduction, we've picked up the W in the first spot. So I'm going to show you my strategy. We start by saying right click, inspect, go to the console. There's a variable called local storage. And if you type local storage there and hit enter, we can look inside that, and there's this thing that says game state. Now that looks interesting to me. So I'm going to say local storage game state. Let's see what that is. Okay, so that is a JSON string. That's just a JavaScript thing. And we can make that something useful by saying json.parse, open parenthesis, local storage dot game state, close parenthesis. Hit enter there, and there's the solution. So already right there, we've got our answer. But let's make this a little better. We don't want to do this every day. We don't have to remember all this every day. The benefit of programming is you can solve a problem and have it solved forever. So there's a couple of things that we need to know, though, in order to get there. First thing is we're going to do this with a bookmarklet, which starts with a bookmark. So if you add a bookmark, Control D in most browsers, or you click the star or whatever up in the address bar, I'm going to call this Wordle spoiler so that I know that this is my spoiler bookmark. And once you've created your bookmark, right click on it and go ahead and click edit. We're going to delete the URL. And we're going to replace it with the word JavaScript, all lowercase, colon, and we're going to say alert, parenthesis, and then what we had before, our good old JSON parse local storage game state solution. Make sure you close parenthesis at the end. We're going to save that, and now when we click this, we've got a little solver tool. And we can use that any day. But we've got some more time, so we're going to make this even a little better. So one other thing in JavaScript is we have this variable called window. And inside of there, so there's this variable called location. And if we say location.href, so window.location.href, that will give us the URL to the current page. So I'm going to go ahead and integrate that into our bookmarklet. And we're going to add a check to see if we're already on Wordle or not. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to say URL equals that, semicolon. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our check. So we're going to say window.location.href equals, make sure you get two equal signs, URL, that's our variable we just set up, and then a question mark. The question mark is just a way in JavaScript to say, hey, I want you to test this. If it's true, it's going to do our alert. Otherwise, let's put a colon at the end, and this is what will happen if it's not true. We say window location.href equals our URL that we started with. So with that enhancement, go ahead and save your bookmarklet. Now, what we can do is we can still use it like we had before. That'll give us the solution. Or if we just open our browser or we're on another page and we decide we want to go play Wordle, just click Wordle. It'll take you to the page if you're not there already. Click it again. It'll give you the answer. Go ahead and punch it in. And that is how you solve Wordle in 5 minutes or less.